Open source issues, open source software, it's highly political. People feel very strongly one way or the other about it. It's almost like, communism versus capitalism in the Cold War. I mean, it's really, people are serious about this stuff. And Microsoft obviously has, built its business on the fact that people should be paid for software. Linux and the open source movement has created a very effective model that allows for shared creation of software. And so where's the action today? The action today is actually, even though open source software started out as a way of turning copyright law on its head, and they use the term copyleft, for example, so you can use the copyright laws to promote the free flow of software, and that's all great, it's perfectly legal. The only problem is the early versions of open source licenses didn't effectively deal with patents. So remember, patents protect the underlying idea. So Microsoft owns lots of software patents, for example, that are infringed by things that people are creating elsewhere that they're delivering on an open source basis. And so Microsoft's view is that, well, that's fine, you can give away your copyright rights, but you can't give away our patent rights. You still want to be paid for that. And so the license regimes are struggling with this issue. We sort of view the issue as one of, trying to have appropriate clarity around what's licensed and what's not. And so from our point of view, certain things are better as a public street, as to use an analogy, and certain things are better as like a private lot where you have your own house. And so the real issue is coming up with licensing regimes that are very clear about what you're contributing and giving to the public and what you're not. So Yahoo, as you know, is very supportive of openness. And there's a lot of things we're doing to open up software, to open up our platforms to the user community. It's a really important thing to us. When we do that, we like to be clear and know what we're giving away, because we also have a responsibility to our shareholders not to throw things away. And so as long as you have licenses that respect and a very clear boundary, then we are very supportive of the open approach. But we also obviously respect IP and are very supportive of the rights of businesses to hold certain things proprietary if they feel it's important. Nobody should be forced to give up something that's core to their business.
So do you think GPL3 solved the issue with patent and?
I don't think it's solved yet. No. I think GPL3, there's going to be a lot of action. You guys are going to have a lot to write about in that area in the years to come. Obviously, it was, the patent aspect of it was highly contentious, highly debated, and it almost turned out like a little mini legislative process where everybody, a lot of people got a little something, and there's a lot of confusion in GPL3, and that's going to create interesting issues and interesting news in the future, I'm sure.